You are watching the Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship. The Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship, in its third year, welcomed over 1,200 athletes to one of the biggest standard distance events in Africa. The 5150, being a standard distance event, is shorter than an Ironman 70.3 race and serves as a perfect introduction into the sport of triathlon. Often newcomers get a taste of the sport and would go on to compete in the longer distance events, perhaps even the full Ironman.
This is where the bug for the big Ironman started, which was something I did 2 years ago, which started here. So I quite like coming back here. It's a fantastic venue, the atmosphere is fantastic. It's a like a race.
It's been one of the events that I've been fortunate enough to be able to do since the start of it. So I think it's a good race. I think it's very nice, and the run's always fantastic, nice and flat and fast. So yeah, great one. Yeah.
Last-minute checks were performed in transition before the start of the race, and a few nervous faces around.
Yes, this is a brilliant route and brilliantly organised race, so it's great for first-timers with the full road closure on the highway, and that's very safe and secure, so there's no need to worry about anything really. They look after you from head to toe.
I think when we took a decision to host this event, we only had a glimpse of what it would be. But now that we're running into the third year of hosting this event, it has been a very good decision. In fact, it has performed beyond our expectation.
ITU star Henry Skuman was looking to take his third consecutive title.
I love the course. It's a great venue and it's a great race. Coming here to defend my title for the third time, and yeah, it looks good. It's a bit breezy today. Should be interesting on the bike, but it should be fast, and looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's second time racing this. The swimming is quite nice. It might be a bit choppy with this, might be like a bit sea conditions with the wind, and then the bike is very fast. So just hope for the best and survival on the run.
Well, I'll try and swim as fast as I can and maintain on the bike, and then running is my strong point, so I hope to catch up on the run.
The first wave of the day set off for their swim at Germiston Lake. The professionals and age group elites, ahead of them a 1.5-kilometer swim.
We got a great ITU athlete in Henry Skuman here, who's a very, very strong swimmer, and in fact biker and runner. But he will lead off from the front very quickly on the swim, I predict, and then we're going to have to try hunt him down on the bike and the run. Hopefully my legs will be there on the bike and the run, so I can put back time into him. After, I'm sure he'll break through in the swim.
The strongest swimmer in the ladies' field was Czech Republic's Lucy Zelenkova, going at a strong, steady pace. No doubt that Henry Skuman would be the early favourite and easily the strongest swimmer as he set the early pace, unsurprisingly so.
I used my swim to my advantage, so I pushed a bit, but I kept within my limits. Not too hard, but just wanted to make a gap like I did. It was pretty choppy out there with the wind. It did kind of affect me in the beginning with a lot of the chop, but towards the outside of the course it was a bit more flat, so it was okay. And then coming back to the transition, it was kind of like riding the waves, so it was quite nice.
With 3/4 of the swim complete, Skuman had a sizable gap as he approached the last buoy. Swimming being one of his strongest disciplines, Skuman was determined to have a big enough gap leading into transition and out onto the bike. That is exactly what he did. He left T1 with a 2-minute lead. Rudolf Nodier exited the water in second place. He would have to work hard to make up the difference.
The swim started out, I was feeling really tired, so I didn't know if I was swimming fast or I was swimming slow, and I was just behind a group, and the water was really choppy out there, so it was really difficult, especially to breathe. I was swallowing a lot of water. But when I got out the water, I was about 1 minute and 20 seconds behind Lucy, so it seems like it was then an okay swim.
Cindy Schultz with a minute separating her and Lucy Zelenkova, with Andrea Steyn hot on her heels. A strong swim from the defending champion. The Green Caps, the age group men 18 to 34, making their way to the swim start.
5150 Triathlon is a global triathlon series which takes in the standard distance series, so it's a 1.5k swim plus a 40k bike plus a 10k run. If you add that up, it's 51.50 kilometers. So the swim course is in Germiston Lake. The visibility is really good. You can actually see fish in the water and water plants and stuff like that. So it's a very pleasant swim. And when it is windy, it's a bit choppy like today. It is just a good open water swimming experience.
I think this is a good venue to have it, and hold it, and it's very central as well. So, and very a lot of spectator value as well. I mean, I was walking the course here and having a look, and they can follow it from the swim to the bike to the run. So it's very nice.
As the age groupers set out on the first leg of their race, further forward in the field, it was still Schoeman dominating the pro race, setting the pace.
I didn't feel great, but I felt good. I've got a new time trial bike, so it was really exciting to race on that. And yeah, I mean, I just try to keep comfortable, keep a good rhythm. The wind was blowing really strong, so we had strong crosswinds. And for a light guy, I struggled a little bit.
Also in the mix now, Xterra star Bradley Weiss, just ahead of Nodier, as Schoeman stretched his lead to 3 minutes just before reaching the turnaround at 20 kilometers. Claire Horner and Rihanna Robertson were now doing the chasing in the women's race as Steyn worked her way to the number 1 position, leaving Zelenkova and Schultz to battle it out for second position.
Yeah, I came out the water with Andrea. Lucy had a bit of a lead on us, and then we worked hard on the bike. Andrea pulled away on the bike. And after about 5 k's in the cycle, I could see Lucy was just ahead of me. So then, I just sort of started pushing hard, and I passed her just before the turnaround.
On the bike, actually, I felt okay. We had quite a tough duathlon on Sunday a week ago, and I was really sore this whole week, so I knew I was going to feel a bit of fatigue from the race. But once I started cycling, I actually felt great the first 20 k's, and then on the way back the wind was actually terrible, so I think everyone was struggling, and there were some guys in front of me, and I could see that the distance is not getting a lot bigger, so I assumed they were also struggling in the wind.
Andrea Steyn was pushing hard and holding on to her lead regardless of the blustery conditions on the return stretch of the 40-kilometer bike course. Cindy Schultz managed to stay ahead of Zelenkova all the way to the turnaround point. Zelenkova was not letting Schultz out of her sight. The age group athletes were leaving the water and heading into T1. 4 age group waves would be set off in 15-minute intervals after the pro and elite field. For most athletes, the most difficult part of their race had been completed.
It's quite a tough swim. It was alright actually. I don't know. The swim is always tough, a bit choppy. The guys were grabbing onto each other, but yeah, nice swim.
South African para-athlete Stan Andrews was gearing up for his bike leg. Whilst the men's age groupers were in transition, the women's swim was underway. Vice and Nadir were still together as they tried to close the gap to Schoeman. Brad Edwards was catching up to the chasers as the three athletes were made to work hard to match the pace of Schoeman.
Basically, you want to just not start out too hard. You want to be in your own comfort zone. You still got to push, but yeah, just be within your limits and don't go out too hard, and just maintain a good rhythm. And if you're feeling good at the end, then finish hard.
The final push for Schoeman. No doubt he'd want a big enough gap so that he can have a comfortable run. He entered transition with a bike split of just under 58 minutes. Strong effort in these windy conditions. Now in second, Vice entered transition. Roughly 3 minutes the difference between him and Schoeman. Nadir, not wasting any time, blitzed in and out of transition. Vice had his work cut out, considering Schoeman's form. The rest of the pro and elite field coming in thick and fast now. Michael Davidson, winner of the Standard Bank 5150 Bella Bella Triathlon, had quite a bit of time to make up if he wanted to be on the podium.
Well, I haven't done IT racing for about 2 years basically, so I prefer the non-drafting. I think it's a more fair race, and because I'm not a top-end swimmer, I always miss the pack. So for me, being a non-drafting race, it's just suits my type of racing a lot more. So for me, it was fine.
In the 5150 races, athletes could face a 2-minute time penalty for drafting, and that can ultimately cost an athlete the race.
Yeah, the bike course was actually quite nice. It was there weren't too many hills, and it was a little bit windy, but I'm from East London, so I'm really used to that. So yeah, it was just one lap, so that was nice, and you could really just put your head down and go hard.
Schultz and Zelenkova kept each other in their sights. A strong effort from Schultz at the end enabled her to drop Zelenkova as she made her way to transition. The Czech athlete trailing by just over 2 minutes. Steyn, meanwhile, looked strong and had a swift transition, constantly building on her lead. Schultz soon followed. She'd put in time on Zelenkova. Her biggest goal now would be to maintain the gap and try and hold on to second place, possibly even push for the win.
What's unique about this 40k bike course is that there's only 2 crossover points over the entire course. That's when athletes go onto the N17 and coming off. They cycle between the Gosforth Toll Plaza and the Dell Park Toll Plaza. We put them in the fast lane. It becomes a 60k zone for the traffic, and then the athletes ride around the centre aisle between the 2 plazas, and then they come off again back on Russell Road, Lake Road, and back into the venue. That is a unique feature of this race, is the bike course. It is undulating hills, but for a strong cyclist it's a very pleasant course, and the road surface obviously on Sunroll's N17 is superb.
Whilst most of the pro and elite field battled it out on the run, the rest of the first-timers and weekend warriors were fighting their own battles further back in the field. The heat, the wind, the fatigue, to conquer the Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship.
This event has really become a special event on the calendar, particularly noticing the number of first-timers that are participating in the event. And we will walk around registration, we'll walk around bike checking in the morning, and you'll see a couple of nervous faces because these athletes that have never done it before. but the real reward is once they've completed it and once they cross that line. It's such a great feeling to hear them say that definitely they will be back and they're hooked on triathlon now, because it does become a lifestyle, and we want to see that lifestyle growing. It's a healthy, active lifestyle, and it's something that it's just a positive if it keeps spreading. So I mean, we're extremely grateful for athletes who are supporting this event, and also for new athletes who take a chance on an event like this, because if you don't try, you'll never know.
Without a doubt, the sport of triathlon should be an option for anyone wanting to try out something new, something different. So, from the gun, Schoeman was leading the race. Careful not to push too hard on the run, anything can happen.
Yeah, I could see I had quite a big lead after the bike, and I wanted to try and push myself, but I was feeling the heat and the altitude, and I thought I'll just maintain it at a good rhythm, and so I don't do anything wrong and I can win comfortably. Every race I just give 100% from the beginning. I don't use tactics, I just go give my best, and it just happens that I'm in the front from the swim and I maintain on the bike and maintain on the run, so I'm happy with that, leading all the way.
He was followed by Weiss, Edwards, Nordier, who would surely capitalize on any mistake up front.
Yeah, and onto the run, Brad Edwards and myself started off with a pretty good pace, and he dropped off pretty quickly. And I tried to get a visual on where third and fourth was, but I couldn't quite make out who was coming over, so only once we turned at about 2 k's on the run, then I figured, I sort of started calculating the gaps, and Rudolph looked fresh and strong, but I was pretty confident I could hold him off. It was Michael Davidson who was the threat.
Steyn was in good form, looking great on the run. However, Schultz was not going to make it easy for her. She was going at a moderate pace, as she still had Zelenkova to worry about.
Yeah, I really enjoy the run route. It doesn't feel like a long run, and it's also quite flat, and there's quite a bit of shade, so it wasn't too hot out there. I just concentrate on getting a nice rhythm and just, trying to keep a good lead on Lucy and just try and not let Andrea get too far ahead.
Lucy Zelenkova hydrating and taking in plenty to drink. This is very important, especially in such warm conditions. Dehydration could be the end to anyone's race. Zelenkova caught a glimpse of race leader Steyn as they passed each other on the 2-lap run route. This allowed Zelenkova to assess the gaps between her and the leading athletes.
To be a professional, it takes a lot of dedication, commitment and focus on your sport, especially on the small things. It's good to listen to your body. It's the best indicator if you're going too hard or too easy. If you're going too hard, you can blow out really big at the end of a race, especially a long endurance race. So it's always better to start a little bit easier and finish off strong. Because if you start out too hard, the effects of going out too hard can be bigger at the end of the race than going out too easy.
Schoeman looked nowhere near tired. The ITU athlete, being used to racing hard from the outset, knew that if he kept a good rhythm and pace, he could make this his third consecutive Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship title and that is exactly what he did.
Okay, I came off the bike in 6th or 8th place, but with my strong run I managed to catch quite a few guys, and luckily at the end there I caught right up to 2nd place. So I'm quite happy about the strength of the run. But yeah, my legs weren't there in the bike today, but that's what happens in triathlon. It's the beauty of the sport. You never know if you're going to be strong in either of the 3 disciplines, but it's magic when it all comes together.
Weiss just managed to lose 2nd place to Michael Davidson, who put in an exceptional run after trailing far behind after the swim and bike. Some cramping for his efforts. Rudolf Nodier ending up in 4th position. A great race it was for Skuman, who made it a hat-trick of titles in Ekurhuleni. In the pro women field, only 1 lap remained, and it was still Andrea Steyn setting the pace. By this time, a determined Schultz knew that she would have to settle for 2nd, Steyn just being too strong on the day. Visibly slower now than Steyn and Schultz, all Zelenkova could do was hold on to 3rd place.
I had about a 2 minute 20 lead when I got off the bike, and on the first lap my dad actually shouted that I was 3 minutes ahead. So the last 5Ks I just ran comfortably and in a comfortable zone, and yeah, I took the win and I was really happy with it.
Andrea Steyn with a well-deserved 1st place, also her 3rd consecutive win at the Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship. Schultz making her way back to the red carpet. She would claim 2nd place. Zelenkova always smiling, super happy with 3rd position. Steyn dominated the women's race with Schultz in 2nd and Zelenkova 3rd.
The run exists out of a 1 3/4 lap around Germiston Lake. It runs mostly in the park and partly on a closed road going around the perimeter of the lake. It's 10 Ks. It's not that hard, but once you've gone through the day and you're a bit tired, a slight incline becomes a mountain.
The Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship. The ideal race for athletes of all abilities and experience because of the achievable distances. Another reason this is the race of choice for first-time athletes and anyone else curious about the sport is the fact that it offers the opportunity for athletes to enter as a relay team. A very popular choice with 30 teams entered this year.
As you all know, Standard Bank has been in a partnership with Ironman for the past year. And in celebration of this milestone, we would like to take this opportunity to honor the Standard Bank Ironman's 1st anniversary. Since the beginning of our relationship in November 2014, we have created some magical moments and started an inspiring journey which led us to dig deeper into our own understanding of the athletes and supporters to truly become part of this season triathlon series of events. Thank you for your never-ending support. Through your encouragement, we have been able to persevere and be continuously dedicated to growing the triathlon sport in South Africa. Standard Bank would like to congratulate all participants that have been an integral part of the Standard Bank Ironman series of events. Standard Bank would like to let all athletes and supporters know that we will be there with you in 2016. So Port Elizabeth, East London, Durban, Bella Bella and Germiston, be prepared. We hope you're ready to never stop moving forward with Standard Bank Ironman in 2016. All the best.
The support of the title sponsor, Standard Bank, is what keeps the 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship moving forward. However, nothing would be possible without the athletes and all of their support. Well done to each and every athlete who attempted and finished the 2015 Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship. We hope to see you again, and hopefully this will take you on to even more races. You've been watching the Standard Bank 5150 Ekurhuleni African Championship.